Some disappearances leave behind more questions than answers. Welcome to Whispers in the Shadows HQ. In February 2004, 21-year-old nursing student Maura Murray vanished without a trace after a single-car crash on a remote New Hampshire road. What began as a simple disappearance has since become one of the most perplexing mysteries in modern true crime, drawing in investigators, her family, and an entire generation of online sleuths. Tonight, we journey into the heart of this cold case, exploring the facts, the theories, and the enduring questions that haunt the snow-covered roads of New Hampshire. This is the vanishing of Maura Murray. On the afternoon of Monday, February 9, 2004, Maura Murray, a bright and promising nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, made a series of baffling decisions. She sent an email to her professors and work supervisors, claiming a death in the family and that she would be gone for the week. The problem? There was no death in the family. This was the first of many lies that would complicate the investigation for years to come. Shortly after sending those emails, Maura packed a bag, grabbed her belongings, and got into her black 1996 Saturn sedan. Her movements that afternoon were a trail of digital breadcrumbs. She stopped at an ATM and withdrew $280, nearly all the money in her account. Then she visited a liquor store where security footage captured her buying about $40 worth of alcohol, including Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua, and a box of Francia wine. With her car packed and her destination seemingly set, Maura drove north. She was headed toward the White Mountains of New Hampshire, a place her family had often vacationed. But why was she going there, alone, on a cold winter night, under the pretense of a family emergency that never happened? This question is the cornerstone of the entire mystery. Around 7:30 p.m. on the dark and winding Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, something went wrong. A local resident heard a loud thud outside her home. Peeking out her window, she saw a car spun around, facing the wrong direction, stuck in a snowbank on the sharp corner near her property. This was Maura's Saturn. The witness, a school bus driver named Butch Atwood, pulled over to help. He saw a young woman matching Maura's description. He asked if she needed him to call the police. She reportedly said no, telling him she had already called LA. She seemed cold, but not visibly injured, though she was shivering. Butch knew there was no cell service in that area, making her claim about calling AAA suspicious. Despite her refusal, he felt compelled to call for help anyway and drove the short distance to his home to phone the police. The call was logged at 7:43 p.m. By the time the first police officer arrived on the scene, just minutes later, at approximately 7:50 p.m., the car was there, locked, with its airbags deployed. But Maura Murray was gone. She had vanished into the cold, dark night, leaving everything behind. The scene police found was eerie and confusing. Maura's black Saturn was wedged into the snowbank, the windshield cracked and the front end damaged. Inside the car, her personal belongings were scattered but seemingly undisturbed. Police found her backpack, textbooks, birth control pills, and the alcohol she had just purchased. A box of red wine was found open and spilled on the passenger side floor. A rag was stuffed into the car's tailpipe, a detail that some have interpreted as a sign she was trying to stage a breakdown, while others believe it was an old trick to prevent exhaust fumes from entering the car. Critically, her wallet, car keys, and cell phone were missing, but there were no footprints in the fresh snow around the car, no signs of a struggle, and no indication of where she could have gone. Within hours, her car was towed from the scene. The search began almost immediately, but the initial response was that of a typical missing person case, not one that would soon spiral into a national obsession. Search parties, canine units, and helicopters scoured the dense, snow-covered woods surrounding the crash site. They found nothing, no tracks, no clothing, no sign that Maura had ever even entered the forest. It was as if she had simply stepped out of her car and evaporated into the thin, freezing air. With no physical evidence to guide them, investigators and the public were left with only speculation. This void of information gave rise to three dominant theories, each with its own set of believers and compelling arguments. The first, and perhaps simplest theory, is that Maura succumbed to the elements. Disoriented from the crash, possibly intoxicated, she might have wandered into the vast, unforgiving woods to escape the scene before police arrived. In the freezing temperatures, hypothermia could have set in quickly, causing confusion and leading her to a secluded spot where her body remains undiscovered to this day. Proponents of this theory point to the harsh winter conditions and the sheer scale of the wilderness as plausible explanations for why she has never been found. The second theory is that Maura planned her own disappearance. She was a young woman under immense pressure. In the months leading up to her vanishing, she had faced a credit card fraud charge and had recently crashed her father's new car. Was the death in the family email a lie to create a cover story for a new life? The packed bags, the cash withdrawal, the drive to a familiar yet remote location, all these could be seen as steps in a well-thought-out plan to run away. Some speculate she was picked up by a tandem driver, someone she had arranged to meet, who whisked her away to start over somewhere else, perhaps even in Canada, which was not far from her last known location. This theory offers a sliver of hope that Maura is still out there, alive and well, having chosen to leave her old life behind for reasons only she knows. The third and most sinister theory is that Maura Murray was the victim of foul play. Did she accept a ride from the wrong person? Route 112 is a lonely road, especially at night. A predator could have easily stopped, offered her a ride, and taken her against her will. This theory gained traction as people began to look at other strange occurrences in the area. Some have tried to link her case to known criminals or even other unsolved disappearances in the region. The witness, Butch Atwood, saw her alone. But was there someone else lurking in the shadows, someone who intercepted her in the few minutes between his departure and the police's arrival? This possibility transforms the story from a tragic accident or a personal crisis into a terrifying crime, and it's a fear that has haunted her family for 2 decades. Maura's disappearance occurred at the dawn of the social media age, and her case became one of the very first to be dissected and investigated by a global community of online detectives. Her family, led by her father Fred, never gave up hope and relentlessly pushed for answers, keeping her story in the public eye. But alongside their official efforts, a parallel investigation was taking place online. Websites, forums like Reddit, and countless podcasts sprang up, dedicated entirely to solving the mystery. Every detail was scrutinized: the rag in the tailpipe, the route she took, her state of mind, even the contents of her car. Maps were drawn, timelines were constructed, and potential suspects were named and debated. This digital obsession brought incredible attention to the case, but it also created a whirlwind of misinformation, conspiracy theories, and sometimes painful harassment for the family and individuals connected to the case. Maura's story became a symbol of how the internet could both help and hinder a true crime investigation, turning a personal tragedy into a public puzzle. Over the last 2 decades, the case has seen glimmers of hope, but no definitive breakthroughs. New leads have emerged from time to time, often sparked by the relentless online communities. Tips have led investigators to search specific locations, excavate basements, and analyze fragments of bone found in the area, but none have ever been conclusively linked to Maura. In 2022, a new search was conducted based on ground-penetrating radar results, but once again, it yielded nothing. The New Hampshire State Police continue to classify it as a suspicious missing persons case, and it remains active and open. Yet, for all the effort, for all the digital ink spilled and hours spent debating, the snow-covered road on Route 112 still holds its secrets close. The forest remains silent, and the questions that arose on that cold February night in 2004 echo just as loudly today as they did back then. Where did Maura go? Was she running from something, or did something find her? The headlights of a car still cut through the fog on that lonely stretch of road, a constant reminder of the night a young woman vanished. Some mysteries, it seems, are not meant to be solved, only remembered. The memory of Maura Murray endures, not just as a face on a missing poster, but as a chilling story that reminds us how quickly a person can disappear, leaving behind only whispers in the shadows. Thank you for joining us here at Whispers in the Shadows HQ. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Maura Murray, please contact the New Hampshire State Police. If this story has brought up difficult feelings, please know there are resources available to help. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into enduring mysteries. Stay safe and keep questioning.